Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm in the spot where I spent my very first night in a hammock. I've brought my hammock. I want to spend another night here. The fire pit behind me is a fire pit that I built 2 years ago when I bought the hammock. They were calling for sun all day, but the clouds are coming in. I was going to have lunch and then set up the hammock, but I think I'm just going to set up the hammock now, just so that if it does rain, I can hide underneath the tarp. East Hills Outdoors, Jungle Explorer. Let's see if I can remember how to set this up. So here's my strap. I'm gonna go put that right around the tree here. See, I put that one on backwards. Okay, now let's try it again. This carabiner. These trees are pretty close, so I'm going to hook it up fairly high for now. Well, now we know it's going to hold. The bug net has 2 strings that hold it. I put a loop on one end, and I've got a carabiner on the other end with a cam buckle. So I bring my loop around the tree and hook it into that buckle. And now, when I could do the same at the other end, I can pull it taut and it'll hold up the bug net, which apparently I'm going to be needing. So here's my loop. I bring it around the tree. Here's that cam buckle. Put that on. Lock the string in the buckle. And then as I pull the string, it should bring up the bug net, if they weren't twisted. Okay. Now we've got it. Perfect. Now I've got my underquilt from One Wind. Should be, yep, a buckle right on the end here. Clip that to the end of the hammock. Open up the bag and pull it across. Clip that at the other end. That'll help keep the bugs away from underneath me. And if it gets cool tonight, it'll help keep me warm. As far as bedding goes, I brought my roll, and it has my wool blanket and a knitted blanket that my sister made for me that actually has a foot box. So here's the blanket. And she added a piece of material to the bottom, or a piece of crocheted yarn to the bottom, just to give me a spot to put my feet in to help keep my feet nice and warm. So we'll get this inside the hammock, and then we'll cover it with our wool blanket, and we'll be nice and toasty all night long. Wow. I've got my keep it super simple ridgeline. Toggles are already on it, and it has a cam buckle on the end so that I can tighten it up. So again, I take the loop and I bring it around the tree. And I take one of these toggles, put it through the loop, and snug it up. Then I pull it all down to the other end and secure that end. Now over at this end, I bring the line and the cam buckle around the tree, lock that buckle in, and now I have a prusik knot here, so I slide that over, hook it with the buckle, and then I just pull this line tight. And by having that buckle on there, I can make that line sing if I want to. Now I unroll the tarp and toss it over the line. Now I've already done the other end. I take this prusik loop, put it through the eye of the tarp here, and then put it around my toggle. And then when I pull the prusik taut, it tightens up the whole tarp. Now on this tarp, I've added 2 little clips with some paracord so that I can stake it out. And that leaves me a corner flap that I've put a bit of shock cord on. In nice weather, I can open up those flaps and let the air flow through. If it rains or if there's a big storm, I can close the 2 flaps. But for today, I think I'm going to stake down this backside, and I'm going to try and find some poles and have an awning on the front. So I've got the one side tied off. I have another stick here. Which I'm hoping to stand this way, and I'm hoping I have enough line to get over to this branch here. And I think I do. Now these are the triangular flaps I was telling you about, with a small carabiner on the end of the shock cord. If you imagine this staked down to the ground, then the 2 corners I can clip to either side and close it up. Because I'm having it open like this, I have the option of clipping them here and trying to keep those flaps up out of my way, which I think I'm going to do. There you go. And then I can do the same with the ones at the back. Just fold them over the back and clip them together so that they stay out of the way for now. But wow, these flies are crazy. I got the thermocell on and it's doing absolutely nothing. But there's bits of punk wood all over here. I think if I light some of that punk wood and just let it smolder, the smoke should clear away some of them. And then of course, the Dollarama pillows. As far as firewood for tonight, I don't think I need to worry. This huge tree broke off at some point during one of the storms we've had. Tons of branches and stuff I can cut off of that. So I found this nice big chunk of punk wood. And there's little pine cones and all kinds of stuff kicking around. So I'm going to see if I can get this to go. And then just keep a small smoldering fire for now. Just to try and keep these black flies at bay. There we go. So now once that really starts to smolder, that should knock some of these flies down a little bit. The fire is still smoldering a little bit and keeping some of these bugs at bay. But I know I'm going to need more stuff, especially later this evening. So I've got my forager's pouch. I'm going to put this on my belt. And just behind me here, into the bush a little bit, I can still monitor the smoldering fire. But there's some pine cones and stuff back there, so we're going to go and gather some of those. So you can see the tarp from the hammock right there through the trees. And then if I look on the ground here, that'll smolder nicely. That'll smolder nicely. Oh, another one here. Break a few off this dead branch. They're everywhere. So it didn't take very long at all. My pouch is full. And this log here, all of it is punky. And camp is right there. So at any given time, I can come and yank a chunk off of this. Toss that on the fire over there. With a few of these cones. And it'll smolder and keep most of the bugs away. The unfortunate part is I have to get in here in the bugs to get the stuff I need to get rid of the bugs. Oh well. I just threw a little bit of birch bark in there. I put a couple more pieces of this punk wood and a little handful of these cones. That'll burn for just a minute or two, and then it'll go back to smoldering once the birch bark is gone. So now I can take off this pouch and I'll leave it right here under the chair. It's a little too warm when the sun's out for me to want to start cutting some firewood for tonight. But every now and then the sun hides behind a cloud. So when it does, I'll grab my saw and cut off a couple of pieces. I went and checked a couple of other fire pits that I know people use down along this trail, in the hopes of finding a soup can. And the thinking was I'd put a couple of holes in the bottom of it and make like a smudge pot, because I'm keeping the smudge fire going for now, but later this evening I want to have a campfire out there. And it seems to be pushing all the blackflies and the mosquitoes and stuff under the tarp here. Now, I didn't find a can, but I did run into a woman who was fishing, and she offered me an egg carton. So this should work the same way as a coffee carton. You light it up and it just smolders and smokes and keeps the bugs away. So I've got a nice flat rock here, which I'm going to put underneath the tarp. And later tonight, before I go to bed, I think I'm going to rip this in half, and I will burn half of it on that rock, let it smolder, and it should get most of the bugs out of here. For now, I'm sitting under here in the shade. So I think I'm going to light just a small piece of it and leave it on the rock. With any luck, that'll kick the bugs and mosquitoes out of under here for now, until I'm ready to go sit by the campfire later. So while we're waiting for that fire to burn down, I guess it's time to do a little bit of supper prep. I've got cutting board, a Swiss Army knife, tin foil, butter, an onion, 2 potatoes, and a little bit of bacon. This is gonna be good. I've already pre-washed these at home. I'm going to slice them up. Wow. Black flies are back. And I'm going to get a piece of tin foil, put the potato in there now, set that aside. Next up is the onion. First things first, I'm going to take the outer peel off. Stick that back in the Ziploc bag. And now, I'm going to cut this in half and slice it up. Now I take a potato, and I add a bit of onion between all the slices. Now we're going to take half of our bacon and wedge it in here and there. and wherever. Anywhere where it'll fit. Tell me I didn't forget the spice bottle. Yep. I forgot the spice bottle. At least I don't see it here anywhere. Oh, that's right. Here it is. Haha! I didn't forget the spice bottle. I just forgot where I put the spice bottle. Now in here, I have garlic powder, a little bit of Montreal chicken, some lemon and herb, and a tiny little bit of smoked paprika. I'm going to sprinkle a bit of that onto the potato. And where'd my knife go? Way down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to add a few pats of butter and close it up. So now I've set the potatoes in there, and I'm just going to rotate them once in a while. Okay, I think the potatoes are pretty much done. I had them closer to the fire. I'm going to move them away now. They're still going to stay warm. There we go. Oh, that'll be perfect. I just gotta let those flames die down a little bit. Now I have a nice steak that's been marinating in olive oil, garlic powder, and Montreal steak spice. Look at that beautiful monster. That steak is still cooking. But let's start in on one of these potatoes. Because that steak is huge, these potatoes are huge, and these plates are small. Yep, those are done. Have a look at that. Mm. Mm. Yep. Woo. Hot. I gotta get that steak off of there. Look at the size of that monster. Now I'm gonna let that steak rest for just a bit, and I'm gonna eat the potatoes out from underneath it. Who's ready to cut into this steak? Still nice and pink. Mm. Oh, that's delicious. Fire's almost out. So I just threw a few branches on and it's creating a whole lot of smoke before they ignite. And that should get rid of some of these black flies. Mm. I think we're going to be eating this for a little while. That was delicious. Oh, I don't know how I managed to get that second potato down, but it went down there. Wow, that was filling. And now I'm got all my dishes washed, got everything put away. I just have to grab the cooler later and take it for a walk and stash it back in the bush somewhere. I don't keep it right at camp, just in case it attracts something. I'd rather have the bear feeding out of the cooler over there than feeding over here. But again, the bear spray comes into the hammock with me. I'm as safe as I can be. But I think the rest of the evening is just going to be sitting here. Sun's going down, so I'm going to enjoy the fire, relax a little while, and crawl into the hammock for a good night's sleep. I am looking so forward to laying down in that thing. I always get a great night's sleep in there. This moment, right here, is the whole reason I come out here. Nothing beats that first cup of coffee in the morning, sitting by the water, or even deeper into the woods, listening to the birds chirp, all the little animals scurrying around. Life doesn't get any better than that. I'd like to give a shout out to a very special young lady. Anne's daughter moved in with us a few months back, and it's been fantastic having her there with us. There was a bit of a learning curve. We had to adjust to living with each other, and nothing is ever perfectly smooth, but it has been great. I love having her around. But she is autistic and nonverbal, so she doesn't speak, but she communicates very well. She uses a combination of sign language. She has a program on her tablet called Proloquo to Go. And it's, to sum it up, basically it's pictures all over the tablet. Whatever picture she touches, it says that word so that she can explain what she wants us to know, so what she wants to tell us. She's got a whiteboard that she writes on, and she's got her phone so she can text us whenever she wants to tell us something. So she does communicate, she just doesn't speak. But she has a YouTube channel of her own called June's Village. And on her channel, some of it is her practicing her music, whether it be the organ, the violin, the guitar. Some of it is her painting or explaining where she gets the ideas for her painting or along those lines. But a lot of her videos are a glimpse into the mind of an autistic person. She is basically showing us what it's like for her, how she sees life, how she sees what's going on, and how she perceives it. Her channel is called June's Village, and I'm going to leave a link in the description box below, and I'm going to put a link in the comments. So if you'd like to go and have a look, it is very interesting. But I think I'm going to end things here. It's time to pack all this up and head for home. I really enjoy coming out here and sharing my trips with you. And I really hope that you enjoy sharing the trips with me. But you get the lucky end of it, because you get to be here and not have to deal with the blackflies. That's okay. I'll suffer the blackflies. It's all right. But I want to thank you all for coming along. Always a pleasure having you here. And I really appreciate everything you guys do. The comments, the likes, the shares. Everything is very, very appreciated. The channel has already grown well past where I thought it was going to go. Because this all started just as a way for me to share my trips with family and friends. I never even thought it would grow past that. But last I looked, I'm at 962 subscribers, which is about 900 past what I thought I was going to get. So again, I want to thank you all. And if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. When you do, there'll be a drop-down menu. In that menu, select all, and that should let you know whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.